Coding is basically putting a set of instructions for it to perform a different task, right? And I can proudly say that I'm one of the people who has been part of the policies talking about coding and robotics in schools in Kenya. Back then, I think it was about 2022 is when I began this journey, and we started doing training programs in schools.
My first time to interact with a computer, it was when I was in campus.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to use floppy disks back then. I don't want to say then the year because people start calculating my age, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, students in Garissa University should also get a chance to collaborate with students in Nairobi University and come up with projects together. At the end of the day, we are creating change in our country.
To count is that coming next year, we are not there. Producer, this interview is over. Why are you leaving us behind?
Okay, I'm not trying to leave you behind. The thing is, we are, funding is the only problem, to be honest. I can say if you have a solid 10,000, you can get access to, classes. Wajen Garissa, we got to introduce kids to coding and robotics.
Yes.
For the first time. Ever.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Mahdi Show. Today we dive into a conversation that touches the future of innovation, technology, and education. We are lucky to host one of the brightest minds in the space of creative coding and robotics, Mr. Maxwell Kamau, who has done a lot in this space, and personally have worked with him in the creative and robotics industry. As the world embraces digital transformation, creative coding and robotics is becoming an essential skill for everyone, from a young age up to an older age. We'll explore why it's very important to introduce creative coding and robotics to young learners at early age, from the age of 6, and how it's going to help them prepare for the future of jobs and future of technology. As we know, the whole world is now disrupted by technology. And believe me, 20 years or 15 years to come, things will be totally different. And AI, as you know, is really disrupting any space, all the ecosystems. Mr. Maxwell Kamau.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Mahdi Show.
Thank you so much for inviting me here, sir.
Yes, this is a long overdue. You're supposed to be here a long time ago.
For sure.
Since I make noise about tech and innovation.
But I'm so grateful to be here.
Yes.
Yeah, it has taken a while, but then we're so grateful that at least I made it to your seat. So
thank you for accepting our invite and for coming to our show. First question first. Who is Maxwell Kamau? A bit of yourself, what you do, and your journey. How did you find yourself in this space? I'm sure it's not by accident.
Yes. Thank you so much, Abdul, first of all, for inviting me here today. It's really an honor, after many years that we've gotten to work together. So Maxwell is me, personally, and I carry a lot of titles. I am a techpreneur. I am a quality education enthusiast. I advocate for quality education. I as well sit and discuss about policies about education. At the same time, I'm also a young founder, whereby I have my own startups. As well, I'm also a talent manager. And at the end of the day, I advocate for quality education and STEM education in our country, Kenya. Yes, my background about when it comes to coding and robotics. I'll just take it a little bit back behind when I was really young. So when I was young, we only had access to one big computer, but my uncle was the only one who would be able to access it. And I was more keen about what's actually inside it than actually using it. So I always wanted to know what's behind it. So one day, we got this spoiled one that he wanted to, make it. And then I got a chance to rebuild it. I opened it, and then I got the chance to actually see what's actually inside the computer. And that actually made me get to, love building things and solutions. Instead of using them, instead of being a consumer, being someone who can actually build a product and use it. So
what age were you?
I was about 10 or 14 years old. Yes. So when I was about 10 and 14, I wanted to, get into the details to figure out how do these machines work. And I think that's when the coding and robotics talent and skills really came up too. And then once I progressed, I figured out that I have enough passion to, support young people to, get a chance to learn coding and robotics in schools.
You are very lucky to have access to technology at that tender age. Personally, you'll be shocked. My first time to interact with a computer, it was when I was in campus.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to use floppy disks back then. I don't want to say then the year because people start calculating my age. But it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Trust me, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you are lucky that you got access to technology at that young age. It's not an opportunity that most of the people normally get. Most of the people I interact with, they say, I first interacted with a computer or technology during campus, mostly. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah. Now what do you do and where do you work?
Yeah. What I do right now is I help organizations get, to understand how to, work with teachers and students. I work in education, as I mentioned earlier on. I as well help organizations that do STEM education to organize hackathons and events for young people, whereby from structuring the event, how it look like, and also the learner's experience, and what's next after they participate in hackathons and competitions. So that's one of the things that I do. I help them, organize events. At the same time, I help, when it comes to teacher training programs. I have been privileged to work with teachers in different counties here in Kenya. I don't think I think I have gone to about almost all counties in our country to get a chance to, train some of the teachers in different things. Right now, I'm currently working with an organization called the Tech Interactive, whereby we basically support teachers and students in a program called the Design Challenge Learning Course, whereby the biggest problem has always been teacher capacity has always been so low, mostly on innovation. And what we do is we get to train teachers for them to understand how do you frame challenges in a classroom? How do you make the learner, get to come up with solutions? So every learner, probably some of them are innovative, but then the support always has to come from the teacher. So we teach the teachers on how to ask these questions instead of the teachers being the ones helping, build the products. But then, how do they influence questions and critical thinking in classrooms? Apart from that, so how we support the students, we organize an annual program called the Tech Challenge, whereby learners now come up with solutions, we celebrate them, and at the end of the day, we celebrate them with different, awards and experimental tours with our partner organizations. Yes. So that's a bit of what I do. I think I'll talk more about my professionals as we proceed.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Why is robotics and creative coding and robotics education is increasingly becoming more relevant nowadays?
Coding and robotics right now has been on the talk of many people, mostly schools. And I can really say this is a thing that has always been existing. And I can proudly say that I'm one of the people who has been part of the policies talking about coding and robotics in schools in Kenya. Back then, I think it was about 2022 is when I began this journey. And we started doing training programs in schools. One of the influences of why this is being talked about is it's just because of the story about AI and technology in Kenya. But then again, it has always been existing, just that people never knew about it. The reason why it has been, part of why people are talking about it is just only because Kenya, first of all, Kenya has been ranked top #1 country in, I think, in the whole world that uses AI. So it's becoming a necessity. It's becoming a must tool for every learner or anyone to get to use it. So looking at it, how young people can be able to engage with it, it's only through some of the components of it, just a little bit about coding and robotics. So it's a thing that we are forced to do because this is where our country is heading to, this is where our world is heading to, and it forces the schools to get to adapt it. And I'm so grateful that our country, Kenya, has been able to adapt this into the curriculum, CBE, and it's becoming one of the compulsory subjects, whereby every student should be able to take it. So that's the reason why. And for me, it's all about, it's a tool and it's a skill that we all need to embrace because it's here to stay, and looking at it as a complementary tool. Yeah.
Is it only in Kenya or the trend is happening across Africa? Or do you have an insight on?
I can say it's largely Africa. Countries are getting a chance to compete against each other in different ways or the other. So I can't really say it's a Kenyan thing, but then it's at some point it's a global shift because we all need these skills to get a chance to explore different innovations. These are one of the avenues that lead us to creating new solutions each and every now and then.
At what age do you think learners are supposed to be introduced to creative coding and robotics?
Wow. So according to how I've been able to experience different types of students, I can say a learner should start coding at about 6 years old. This is basically purely introduction, getting to understand a bit of concepts, playing with cards, joining puzzles. But then for introduction, that's 6 years old. But then for a learner to get to understand when their attention span is really well maintained, it's about 8 years old, whereby they can now do complex projects and innovation. So from 6 years old all the way to 18 years.
Maybe I take you back to, this is a question I was supposed to ask a long time ago. For someone who never heard of coding, what is coding?
Wow. So I can say, I can take it back.
What is creative coding and what's robotics?
What's creative coding? So creative coding is basically, I can just put it in a very simpler way, whereby you use your brain. You have a picture of what you actually want to build. It's behind your mind, right? You can use a set of code to bring it to life. So it's basically a combination of your creativity and the type of problems probably you're facing around you, and you can use technology to solve it. And this is an example whereby you can use, we have a lot of products and apps online. For example, you can make animations and games. That's creative coding, whereby you can make a story through code. Okay, you can make an animation through code that can speak to different people at different age groups. So that's creative coding. Basically, all your ideas gathered together, but bringing it out to life using a code. A code is basically a set of instructions that you input in a computer for it to perform a different task or action. And then robotics, it's basically, if robotics it actually has a huger definition. It doesn't have like one main definition, but then just to bring it closer to someone who probably doesn't really understand what robotics is, it's this type of skill that you probably have, and you want to actually implement it into a real life solution. Before this seat was made, it actually passed through an engineering process, whereby they had to design, sketch, and then get materials all together to build it. That's also how robotics works. You have to have your equipments, that is the blocks, different motors, different components here and there, join them together and build a product. So it's basically a combination of your ideas, the problem you're facing, and now creating the actual prototype. And that's basically robotic. And then it gets to perform different type of actions.
Is 3D printing a robotic?
Yeah, it's also a group of robotics because the machine uses an engineering process. Yeah, so 3D printing is also a component of robotics.
I believe, like you said, there's a different levels of creative coding.
Yeah.
Based on the age, it goes to a complex level.
Yes.
Take us through, from 6 years old, what they are taught, the Python, the block-based, up to, and there's some of the projects that they can do with.
Yeah, that's a very nice question because I get such questions while I'm, handling parents, because I feel like I'm mostly talking to parents and teachers. For a kid age 6 years old, what they can actually use, they can make animations and games using a simple gadget as a tablet or even a phone, Okay, and at this particular stage, they can make animations using programs like Scratch. At the same time, they can as well use blocks for robotics. As I said, robotics has different components. It doesn't have to be electrical. Robotics can be using blocks and building them all together to see how things can look like and how they can actually function. So for that age, they can use Scratch to make animations and games. And then they can as well, for those who are interested in now making those mobile apps, they can use MIT App Inventor, whereby they can now learn how to make those applications. You know, daily life, every kid uses an app. Most of the kids, not every kid, yes, but then most of the students, kids in, these posh places have access to phones. But then how do you bring them closer to making these things by themselves? Instead of being consumers, can you be our own creators? So they can as well make their own apps and games. And then as we move to an advanced stage, we have complex things like they can learn Arduino, they can do Raspberry Pi, using those particular components here and there, joining them all together. And then as you progress, now they come and now make websites using, they start from HTML, they can go to Python, Java, as you just progress.
Now that's the real coding.
That's a real
not
coding.
A
That's text. That's text.
Can they do a website using a block-based?
Yeah, for sure. You can make
or a mobile app.
Yes, you can make your own mobile app using block-based coding. So block-based coding, it's a simplified way of coding. The codes are in blocks, whereby it's not text.
Instruction is already written.
Instructions, yeah, the instructions are already written. So your work is just it's like building. You pick a block, join it here, drag it and drop it. So it's basically drag and drop. You say move one step, so you move one step, place it on the screen, make this sound. So that's block based. It's well structured, whereby you just drag and drop, and that builds a mindset and understanding of what they'll actually get as they progress to text coding. So block based is what they start with, and they can make animations and games using this.
For parents who want to enroll their kids in creative coding and robotics, I believe there are some schools that do that, and also I think the platforms are free.
Yeah.
Scratch is free.
Yeah, it's open source.
MIT.
Yeah, so we have a lot of resources that parents can actually utilize. We have Scratch.mit. We have MIT App Inventor. We have code.org. I wish the editor can write them on the screen.
Maybe you can mention them so that he can.
Yeah. So we have Scratch, we have MIT App Inventor, we have code.org, we have Octo Studio, we have Raspberry Pi. These are some of the things that they can get to access online, and kids can be able to make their own apps and games using these particular platforms. So they're all open source. If you have any smartphone, access to internet, you can definitely go online and check them out as well. You can as well download them, and you can use them offline. Yeah. And as simple as using a tablet or your phone.
Why is coding important for kids at this era and age?
As I mentioned earlier, look at it from where we are positioned in terms of the type of innovations that we have. Let's take it back to how our country is really known of the mobile banking. M-Pesa, we have M-Pesa. M-Pesa just came up, and it's one of the mind-blowing ideas that we have in our country. So we also want to see the shift of our learners getting a chance to build their own products and solutions. As I mentioned, we have to keep up with the trends. That AI and tech is here to stay. It's not here to take away our jobs or anything. It works as a complement. That's why it's important. In every job that you go to, you find that we have different systems that organizations get to use. And coding and robotics is not just something that you only need to specialize in engineering, but then it's a tool that gets to make you understand different things. It has a lot of components that it carries. We have critical thinking, we have problem solving, we have teamwork. All these type of components, you'll find them in a job, in an industry, in a career. And since you got a chance to engage in coding and robotics, it makes you understand. It makes you fit in an industry. It also complements your career, and it makes you understand things in a different way compared to someone who probably hasn't done STEM education. So that's one of the components why it's really important. And also the jobs that are now needed, you just need a technical skill. It makes you stand out.
For a learner who, let's say, goes through coding and creative coding and robotics, what are some of the skills that they will get? What are the opportunities there for him? Let's say they're in primary school, for example. He started coding maybe from 6 years old up to maybe, let's say, 13 to 14 years old.
Yeah.
So what are the opportunities that there? What can he do after he gained the skill of coding?
Yeah. That's actually a good question. Most of the time people think coding and robotics is only about engineering aspect. Mm-hmm. If a learner has a different skill and talent, for example, music, they can use their talent in music and integrate it to code. If they don't have access to quality musical instruments like violins, pianos, do you know that you can make a musical instrument using code and actually sounds the same? So these particular skills that they learn in coding and robotics can complement their talents and skills. It can be used to implement their solutions to real world applications. So learners can be able to access jobs internationally, like being a software developer, an app developer. They can make apps and websites for big organizations. Again, we're not looking at it at only learning coding and robotics, but then the components and skills that come through coding and robotics help them stand out. Collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving. It's a thing that you can carry anywhere that you go. It's a skill that, coding and robotics just exposes you to these things. And then you, with your creativity, you go ahead and figure out opportunities where you can integrate coding. You can integrate coding in hotels. You can integrate a robotic component in hotels. Nowadays, we have cafes that serve people using robots.
Self-driving cars.
So
all these are robotics.
All these are robotics. The only thing that people should look at, you don't look at it as one type of field that you're going to. It opens your mind. At the end of the day, you're looking at problem solvers. How can people get a chance to use this skill to build real-world solutions? So, again, as I mentioned, it opens your mind to think wider. Where can you integrate coding in different industries? That's what we teach, personally.
And interestingly enough, some of the skills you're talking about is some of the core what do you call competencies of CBC.
Yeah.
I believe there are 7 competencies, and already, like you said, almost 4 of them are in robotics and in creative coding. So which means coding and robotics supplements so much.
For sure.
Yeah, so thank you. The other question is some parents or even some other people think that coding is too technical, very hard to do it. You have that mindset. Is that a myth or is something true? Is it hard? Can someone learn coding without any problem?
That's actually a thing that, and I really understand that. People look at it as a very complex thing, like a very big cloud. Until you try it, you'll understand why it's really important. Parents really say it's really complex, only just because I think back then they used to learn coding, text-based.
Yeah.
But then right now it's really simplified. And what I can actually tell people is don't let things be in your mind. Go and experience them. It's a mindset that we have. Instead of having it in your mind, go try it out and see how it functions. So coding is not really a hard thing for young people to do. Okay? We can take it even, we can do coding without actually computers. Funny enough.
How?
You can use, for example, young kids who are about 6 years old can use puzzle-like cards that are joined together, and there's a robot that can actually walk through it and read the code and interpret. At the same time, remember, coding is basically putting a set of instructions for it to perform a different task, right? You can as well use blocks Like for what we do at the Tech Interactive, we use recyclable materials to create change. Recyclable materials are anything that I can get around me, right? Once I drink water on a bottle, I can use that bottle to actually create things. I can look at that as also innovation. So coding is not a complex thing until you try it out. We have a lot of platforms that make it easy for every learner to understand it. Okay? So let's not have that particular narrative of mentioning that coding in robotics is kind of hard. It's not, because you have it simplified. They can learn coding through block-based as they progress. And then remember, you can use any recyclable material, any component that you find around you, to have that aspect of coming up with a solution.
Is it expensive to learn coding, from your experience?
Well,
and how long does it take?
I feel like with different categories, yes, it becomes expensive. For a start, if you're really trying to explore coding and robotics, we have a lot of open source materials that are open to anyone who has access.
For tutors, for example.
For tutors.
To get a tutor.
Yes, to get a tutor. All these things are online. You can get resources online. So if you utilize your browsers, you can get access to different platforms that can introduce you to coding. So at a starting level, depending where you are, it doesn't really become too expensive. But the moment you keep on graduating to different levels, yes, it becomes expensive. I can give an example of, I'm a coach of an international team for robotics here in Kenya. As we progress, a team can, spend about 80,000 for a component, like just a robotic kit, just to purchase one. So as you progress, it becomes a bit expensive because you now need, advanced resources like computers, kits to keep on working on. But for a start, you have a lot of online platforms that can help you kickstart. You can actually build a robot without an actual kit. You can use visualization of the screen with a different app and make a robot by just dragging objects to your screen, and you can make a robot using that. So I can say it's not too expensive depending on the setup where you are.
Can you give us a figure for parents who want to enroll their kids into coding, for example, in Nairobi?
Yeah.
How much should they want to give out free insights today?
Free insights. Okay. So for a parent, for example, if it's a physical or an in-person class, sessions are charged about from 1,500 Kenyan shillings.
Per session?
Per session. 1,500 Kenyan shillings.
And how long does the session take?
About 3 hours a session. And in this class, you're basically taught on how to make animations and games. You're taught on how to build a robot. You get access to internet. You get access to mentors. And at the end of the day, you get exposure on coding and robotics. So we can say if you want to get a good session from your coding and robotics, let's say you subscribe for a session for about 10 sessions, you'll get to have a better understanding and a concrete, foundation of coding. So I can say if you have a solid 10,000, you can get access to, classes whereby you can learn coding and robotics.
Online? Virtual?
Virtual.
Is there virtual training for coding clubs?
I mean, we have School of YouTube. School of YouTube is, I can say it's not quite expensive because you can use your bundles or Wi-Fi just to access these particular courses. So it's not that quite expensive as compared to having physical classes, because physical classes you get actual products, kits. These particular resources, you can hold them, touch them, and see actual what's happening. So for a start, online, I feel like people should utilize free courses that don't need you to pay anything before you get now to pay them. Yeah.
I'm not hearing about digital literacy. For me to use a device, a tablet, a phone, although these kids nowadays are born tech savvy.
Yeah.
Is there a requirement for the learner to at least understand basic operation of a computer before they enroll into coding and robotics?
It's really important for a learner to, at least get a chance to understand, the usage of a gadget, its benefits, because it involves a lot of internet research when you're doing coding or robotics, because, this sector needs a lot of research. It needs you to look for ideas that are existing for you to implement them. So I can say digital literacy skills, yes, it's really important for learners to start with, because it gives them an understanding of what is this gadget, how can I utilize it beyond coding and robotics, and also letting them also understand how to protect their data and all that. So I feel like before actually doing all these things, because at the end of the day, you're teaching kids on how to be innovators and problem solvers. They can start coding without actually knowing what's this computer, what it can do beyond coding and robotics. So it's really essential for learners and teachers to get a chance to learn basic digital literacy skills, turning on, turning off, Word, accessing different browsers, internet connectivity, cybersecurity understanding, data protection policies, and all that. So we can call that we can take digital literacy skills, and they need this before actually engaging with computers. Sensitization, it's really important.
Can we say creative code and robotics is for wale wamekula lunch, those who are able, especially in the urban communities? Is there an opportunity for rural learners where I represent northeastern, eastern, and rural Kenya, and every other part of the world? How can learners be part of that ecosystem of coding, robotics, and stuff like that? How can they be? Because I believe there must be connectivity at some point. There must be devices at some point. So how can those learners in rural communities benefit from coding and creative coding and robotics?
First of all, I want to thank you so much for taking this to northern counties. We did an amazing program with you.
Yes,
a couple of, I think, 2 years ago. Yeah.
In Wajir and Garissa.
Wajir and Garissa, we got to introduce kids to coding and robotics.
Yes.
For the first time. Ever. To take a robot.
And you can see how they were very
excited. So excited. So we took robots to these people, and you saw the excitement and the type of energy they brought back. These particular students. We can say, yes, we have a chance. The kids have potential, but we are, slowed down by different factors. First of all, government. I'm sorry to say, I never wanted to deviate to government in this particular talk.
They're all culprits in every conversation.
Yeah, and I feel like the government also plays a big role, when it comes to supporting. And this is a thing I've also gotten to notice. We have amazing programs in our country. A lot of people from Western countries coming here to assist us. But the government doesn't even put a step on it just to participate. And Kenyans are really, some other type of people. Government officials come, launch, take photos, and leave. That's the thing that happens. So let's move from the government side, and now let's come to what's actually here. We have potential in these kids, but for us to make it accelerated, it needs a lot of resources. It needs a lot of attention and follow-ups. As we did it with you, we took 10 laptops and about 3 robots, and we had about how many students?
I think 30
students.
50.
So we had limited access to resources. So resources is a bigger factor that slows this particular agenda that you're trying to speak to young kids. That you're trying to bring tech closer home, closer to those in underserved communities. So I can say we have the right, we have some of the right people in, when it comes to policy making and all that, people who are ready to support, but then we're slowed down by the government and all that. So I can say resources is a bigger thing, a bigger problem that we are facing to make sure that we accelerate these programs in those counties. But at the same time, we have a lot that we need to do before getting to tech and coding in those places. To be honest, I came to do my own research, and I figured out that instead of us, rushing to deeply do coding and robotics to, these places, we can start from how can they use whatever they have to build these particular solutions. You get it? So we are building it from a step by step by step so that we can get to the coding part. I understand that the government is not ready to help this, but then we are so privileged to have people like you to, invest, get your money from your pocket, go sit with kids on a weekend. At least we never sat under a tree. We sat in a classroom, well ventilated, and a school that has internet connection, which is so amazing. We have these schools that have this capability, but we need a lot of people to hold hands. For us to get to that higher place, to call ourselves innovators, problem solvers, we have to have a chain of people holding hands to get to that higher rank. So we're able to get there, but you're also able to get there with, right policies, right people in the table for us to make these particular policies, for us to make these particular things work. We need the right people. I think that's what we're missing. Yes.
And I'm happy to say that thanks to our able partner, Raspberry Pi Foundation,
Yes.
shout out to you. We have registered 40 clubs already.
Oh, wow.
In Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera.
Yeah.
And we have already started coding clubs in those remote areas. And already the teachers have been trained.
I saw
Now
those.
as we speak,
Yeah.
a child in Garissa and Wajir and Mandera is playing with Scratch.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
So
Good to see that.
So it's for the first time. It's again, the first time
The first time.
in the history of northern Kenya.
I know, yeah.
I remember when I was the Secretary General for Association of Country Radio Hubs, I also took Innovation Challenge there. First time again.
Oh, yeah, in Garissa University?
In Garissa University.
Yes, I remember.
I was like, are they going to apply? And then 27 innovations applied. And all of them were like, wow, what amazing ideas. So I was like, Kumbe, these guys are just don't get the platforms.
Yeah.
Out of the opportunity to even showcase and whatever. Because ideas are there.
Yeah.
Talent is there. So I think in the next few years, with this effort we are having and all this support we are getting from our donors and from our friends, I think the region is opening up.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, because if you look at what we've been able to do with Tech Interactive, we've trained over 20,000 teachers right now, only in Kisumu and Nakuru. And you've seen the shift and the change in teachers' mindset. Remember, we are doing Design Challenge Learning, which is a free course. And
What's Design Challenge Learning?
So, Design Challenge Learning, it's basically you have a problem, but you don't know how to actually solve it. You need a Design Challenge Learning course.
I want to bring rain from the sky.
Yes. You have to bring rain, but then you don't know how to break it down for you to get to the solution. You have all these ideas, but for you to have these ideas, for you to have this solution, you have to break it down into how are you designing that process. So that's called the Design Challenge Learning course, whereby it's a course that complements the teacher in a classroom. For you to make a learner be innovative, a teacher needs to be empowered. Sad enough, the biggest number of teachers who get to be part of these coding robotics competitions with their students, they don't know what exactly is happening. To be honest with you, they come with kids and they tell the kids, do this, do that, do this, do that. They don't know what's happening themselves. They do not know. So what we do, we empower the teachers and make them understand that this is how you lead a learner. Because at some point, we lose the value. If the learner is only empowered and the teacher is not empowered, we lose a lot. So if the teacher is empowered, they're able to make this coding club or this challenge club run from the start to the end. So the Design Challenge Learning course helps a teacher understand that process. How do you define a problem? How does the engineering process look like? From the very tiny bit to actually bringing up the solution. That's what the Design Challenge Learning course, how it works. They're empowered, they learn, they collaborate, and the actual teacher gets to engage in an actual challenge. They solve it by themselves for them to understand, if I was a student, how would I do this? How should I respond to my learner when they give me a question, when they ask me, teacher, what do I do on this? So it helps them understand. It puts them from being a teacher to, at some point, it brings you to a student, and also gives you an understanding of how a teacher should respond to that. So that's what the design challenge learning course, it works. And it's not only for, it covers, all aspects of teachers when it comes to any subject you're teaching. It's not only STEM education only, but then generally, all subjects. STEM covers a lot of things. And if you have that particular understanding of design challenge learning, you're able to teach a lot of things around that. So that's what the design challenge learning does. The design challenge learning course, what it does. And you have seen a lot of shift in teachers' mindsets.
So now, currently, you are in Kisumu and Nakuru.
Yeah, Kisumu and Nakuru, but then next year we are doing 5 new counties. Homa Bay.
I believe Northeastern is not one of them. You will go out of this interview. If Northeastern is not covered,
actually,
you have to mention it.
If you give me sponsors and partners, we'll definitely come. But then I'm also looking forward to talk to you and see on how we can do small training programs for teachers.
So the 5 counties that coming next year, we are not there. Producer, this interview is over. Why are you leaving us behind?
Okay, I'm not trying to leave you behind. The thing is, we are, funding is the only problem, to be honest.
You have 5 counties.
Like
why don't you do regional balance?
Yeah.
No, this time we are talking about
we are
5 counties, nomadic counties, 5 counties.
We're coming that way.
When? After 2030?
I told you, no, not actually 2030. 2027 will be in your county. But, it's really possible for us to do something together. We'll basically do small, we call them tech challenges, mini challenges with your county, just region-wise, and then see what the community gets to embrace. Because you see, to be honest with you, before you start solving problems, like big tech problems, what do these communities face? What are the problems they face? Can we solve those problems first before going and solving, making the best website in the whole world, the best app? What challenges do they face? We teach kids in Samburu coding and robotics, but then does it actually solve their needs? No. So what we are doing is we go to the community, figure out what they're facing, the learners themselves figure out their problems, we get them on the design challenge learning, and they get to solve actual problems using whatever they have. So it's not a thing that bounds any learner. Even a kid who lives in Karen can use whatever they have to be able to, come up with a solution using accessible, non-store-bought materials. So that's what we do. And I'm so happy that we engaged about 4,000 learners in these counties. These kids have never seen this before. It's their first time to even, to stand in front of a judge and explain their solution. It was so amazing. And I'm looking forward to seeing on how we can get some funding and money to come to
I'll give you my salary.
Garissa.
Can I give you my salary?
For sure. Bring it.
Okay. Hopefully one day this show grows and then
for sure
I can sponsor.
Inshallah.
So one of the challenges that we face as a region in terms of education, and which I really advocate for every time and try to bring solutions, is foundational literacy and numeracy. How is your day, or how old are you? Grade 4 learner.
Yeah.
How old are you? So it's like grade 4. I met with grade 5 who cannot even go beyond how are you, I'm fine.
Wow.
So for a region that is so low, so behind in terms of foundational literacy and numeracy, do you think coding is for us? Ama wacha tupambane tu na kusoma na we struggle with foundational literacy because I can't even know, because the instructions are English, I believe.
Yeah.
The block-based coding.
Yeah.
If I cannot even understand and comprehend and see the constructions, should we just leave coding for now and then deal with literacy, foundational literacy? Because if you're getting a grade 5 learner who cannot go beyond how are you or my name is, then we have a huge challenge. So coding, is it for us really?
Well, I think when we give it the name coding, we kind of centralize ourselves into one place instead of calling it innovation. Because at the same time, coding and robotics, at the end of the day, we're trying to see on how we can be innovative. So I can't really give the answer and say it's not for this particular kids.
I can't read, I can't write.
You can't read, but you can write. But then,
Or
remember,
you
there's
do
something
it
you're
in
doing.
Somali language.
Remember, there's something you're doing. First language first, Mluga. And the thing is, right now we have a lot of because yes, language barrier has been one of the biggest problems I've been able to face as an instructor when I go to these new counties, because I can't communicate with the teacher or the student because they only understand one language. But then with the community that I'm working with, we're kind of working on translators that can be integrated on different platforms into simpler mother tongues. So it's a very huge progress that really needs time and support from different people for us to implement these products. But then we as well have AIs that can be able to translate. So we at least leverage on AI. At the same time, instead of us saying that we can't do this, we work with teachers, train the teachers who understand this. And the teachers now go take it as a channel to the students. So we can't really say it's not for them. We empower one person who can empower the rest. So it's a channel. So we can use these different ways. So this particular, language thing, language barrier, not understanding different languages, it's a thing. But we can't close that opportunity with us saying that we can't do it because we don't understand different things. Remember, every kid, no matter where they're coming from, they have a talent and a skill that once they get a chance to be exposed, they do it with a lot of passion and interest. So we are critical thinkers and we think outside the box, figure out a way. Is it either empowering a teacher? When you empower a teacher, can go and empower the students and empower other teachers. So those are such the programs that I think the government should invest in. Teacher training. Train teacher, teacher to train a teacher, and a teacher to train another teacher. Yeah, so we just need to invest in a type of model that can favor this particular group. Because you can teach coding in the mother tongue. It's basically instructions.
Possible.
It's possible. Teach a teacher who knows how to speak Kamba. That Kamba teacher will talk to the students in Kikamba, and they will understand.
But the block-based instruction is in English. Is there a way we can change it to mother tongue?
That's something that's still on process, that we're trying.
I'm passionate about first language first.
Yeah, I understand that. So the platforms themselves, they're also kind of also restrictive.
Can we have our own?
We can have our own. I mean, people are working on these products.
I think we should not be consumers anymore.
Yeah.
Like right now we have a problem with AI. The AI models we use, especially at Mluga.
Yeah.
The AI models is not trained for the African languages.
Yeah.
And the African languages we have is not trained very well because of the diverse. African language is very rich, by the way, very diverse. Right now, if you ever use the Google Maps, if you tell him to mention Oledume Road, they will pronounce it in funny ways like, is it Oledume? Or even the Maasai, those streets with African names.
Yes.
The Google Map cannot even pronounce.
For sure.
So why, as an African, why are we becoming consumers? Why don't we even be creators of our own models?
And that's the problem. Despite the fact that we were, ranked one of the countries,
we are consumers.
The country that's really consuming ChatGPT, like it's on ChatGPT, the top. If I did my own research and I figured out that it's not constructive things we're looking for in ChatGPT.
I use it on a daily basis for things that I was supposed to use my brains.
Yes. So if you look at it, honestly, also on our end, I think people need to be educated on what these platforms are for, instead of people just using these platforms. Because I looked at, us being that rank, what are we actually searching for? Are we researching? Or are just a lot of things that don't make any sense? Just generating videos. Most of this data actually came when we had our protests. So you find out people are just generating videos that weren't really, too important for us to, get to post them on our media platforms. There are a lot of irrelevant research that doesn't seem to, contribute to our country's progress or the type of things we're doing in our country. So it was basically, I feel like people need to be educated first on what AI is all about. And if people just use it as a tool just to give them answers, move on to the next, And it also kind of slows our thinking and understanding. You're not
I can
becoming
feel
too.
it.
At the same time, you're so proud we're the highest number. At the same time, I'm kind of not so happy. That's my perspective.
It's killing our creativity.
Yeah, it's killing our
Just
creativity.
do a prompt, give you 1 page.
That's it.
Done.
And we hope that we change that narrative.
2 last questions. 1, for the youth of Northeastern, the northern Kenya. Let me say Northeastern because we're talking about over 11 counties from Turkana to West Pokot. How can they be part of this revolution of creative coding and robotics, wherever they are? That's the first question. Second question, 1 word of advice to the parents on coding and creative coding.
Wow. Kids, university students who are in northern eastern counties. One of the things is I normally say that let's not expect things to come to us. Let's go find them. Annually, we have an amazing program called the Presidential Innovation Award. It's by the Office of the President, and it's normally hosted by the Kenya Innovation Week. They put out a call, and they ask, are you a young innovator who has this particular solution on different matters for you to apply? And they give you a seed funding if you get to proceed. As well, you have a lot of programs like Yoma. Yoma, it's a marketplace for young people to get a chance to learn different courses and get access to jobs. So I can say, these people, for them to get to this place, their leaders in universities should get a chance to also explore what's happening on the other side of the country. Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa. It should be a joint collaboration. One thing we're not good at, we look at each other as competitors instead of looking at each other as alternatives. We get to compete instead of us getting a chance to collaborate. Students in Garissa University should also get a chance to collaborate with students in Nairobi University and come up with projects together. At the end of the day, we're creating change in our country. So I also think the people who are seated in those offices should also get a chance to get these opportunities for these young people. There are so many. There are so many competitions, hackathons that these people can engage in. So what's there for them? It's more research. Be out there, put yourself on LinkedIn, post whatever you can do. Post it, you never know who's watching. I think you told me this a long time ago. Post it, you don't know who's watching. Yeah. And that's really true. You never know who's watching.
Never know.
So you just put your work out there, market yourself the way as much as you can. Speak to people about it. Your idea is not only your idea. You're not building a solution for yourself. You're building a solution for everyone. So for these students, please get a chance to network, attend those events, hackathons, talk to people, share that. Social media is a very great tool. Know how to utilize it. Don't do just TikTok dances and leave it there. Please go ahead and do your enough research. Talk to people like Abinur. These people are so grateful to have. I don't know if they know Abinur who he is, but then I feel like they should get a chance to speak to you because I feel like you have great connection and a lot of insights when it comes to tech coding, and you can hold hands. I think you should also continue the innovation hubs in those places because this is a chance for them to also get a chance to move from one step to another. My word to parents is that let's embrace technology. Let's embrace technology. Let's also be part of the journey. Let's not leave it to our kids for them to use it, but then let's get a chance to build these solutions together with the students. Let's support them. Let's not look at gadgets as, a long time ago when you hold a phone, your mother is like, understand it. As a parent also get a chance to also understand these things and then support your students in the journey and the process. It's our time to invest in tech, coding, robotics for the success of our students.
Last one before we close. In the coming 10 years, let's say 10 years from now, where do you see coding and robotics space in the country?
Wow.
Will there be changes? Will there be a lot of disruption? And the kits are very expensive, by the way.
Yeah, that's one other thing. If we get from the aspect of us consuming and using products that are already made, we'll always stick there. If we depend on kits that are already store-bought, that's becoming so expensive. We are not going to be moving. Okay, we'll do things 1 or 2, 3 days, it's over. We need to come out from that comfort zone of us utilizing materials that are already made. We are just building on top of what has been made by someone. We need to come and have better events for challenges, for young people, for people to solve problems. This is also influenced by the people sitting on those chairs, policymakers, to design actual hackathons, actual challenges, actual competitions that solve needs of young people. We're so happy to have seeing young people coming up with an AI in Kenya. You know, these are the things we want to see. Our country can only excel in tech, coding, and robotics if we leave that comfort zone of us utilizing products that are already made to us building our own from the problems that we face. That's why I can see coding and robotics in our country in 10 years if we get a chance to, on ourselves, on our end, to build solutions that matter in our daily life. So it also needs support from the government. If our government doesn't sleep on this, we will always stay there. We need policies that favor every young person. So I can say in 10 years, I see our country, if they get to adapt this, we'll be one of the leading countries in the continent that have produced the best innovations in the whole world.
Can we locally manufacture our own kits?
Yeah, we can.
Is there a company that you know that does that at a cheaper rate? Personally, I need some kits.
Yeah, personally, I've also been able to make my own.
Then we'll talk.
Yeah, I've also been able to make my own. So we have them, but then the problem is also the cost of production. It's really expensive.
Have you ever used raw materials?
Yeah. I mean, we can use 3D printing technology, but then it's also not sustainable. It wears out easily.
Now, for the last chance, you can advertise any company, you can do a plugin. If a parent's in Nairobi, they want to enroll their learner into a coding program from your own, not from my own, not for the show, where is the best places? You can even mention several places.
Wow.
You can decide even to, because they don't pay you. That's what I do.
Wow.
I say I'm not advertising company.
First of all, that's true. I'm not advertising any company. I can really say we have Bunifu Youths, Kenya. So they basically...
They have to pay you after this show.
Yeah, for sure. Please. Yes.
Pay him.
Bunifu Youths, Kenya. They basically...
Where? They're in Nairobi?
Nairobi, yeah. And they as well move like nomads. Like you see how you move from county to county. That's the same thing they move. They have this mobile lab. They move from one place to another, and they teach schools, students, and then as well they get to hold their hand after that. The Tech Interactive, shout out to you guys. I love you guys so much.
That's your company?
That's where, yeah. So Tech Interactive...
We did that one.
Tech Interactive, it's one of the best organizations I've been to in my entire life. Thank you to my director, Shital Patel. She has really mentored me to be the person that I am right now, being the lead learning coordinator for the Kenyan expansion. I'm so privileged to sit down with them and create actual, solutions for our country, Kenya. I've been in this space for 4 years now. I think it's more than 4 years, but then 4 years, implementing solutions. And I've seen what has been able to, and what needs to be done. So Tech Interactive is one of them, supports teachers. Again, I think those are the only ones for now.
Okay. For the parents, maybe who are subscribed to this channel, if you need more advice on how you can enroll, maybe make sure they can comment, or if you have a number, producer, please text that number on WhatsApp only, don't call. We can maybe connect you to, because this show is about empowering communities and doing a lot of awareness.
Yeah.
So please text that number. It's like, hey, I'm in Nairobi. Please connect me to one of the guys. Maybe you can connect to Bonifu. But in my mind, I know there are others, but you don't want to mention.
Yes.
I don't want to mention because they don't pay us. So let's be selfish at some point.
For sure. But if someone gets to reach out to me, I'll basically have a conversation with them and let them, get to understand how you need to navigate. Maybe a teacher, student, parent, please, my LinkedIn is just Maxwell Kamau. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or I don't know if you guys will allow me to put my contact over there and my email for you guys to reach out to me. So I'm really open to consultation, paid consultation.
You have to pay us for putting your number there.
That's fine.
I think that's it for this amazing. I was looking forward to having this kind of conversation because nowadays I think the parents are more enlightened. I receive a lot of calls, like, hey, especially this holiday. Parents like, hey, is there a holiday bootcamp for the school I was consulting for?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, where can I get a coding for kids in Nairobi? So I was guiding them. I don't know if they help, but I think the parents are now understanding the importance of coding and robotics at this era and age. So we will close at this point. It was a very long day. And me and Max and the team, Mluga team, we are going to Garissa probably next week.
Yes.
And we have an amazing, fun and exciting events happening. We don't want to preempt, but we will see it on our...
Check out the stories.
Check out the stories. We are planning to do a very amazing thing. Still on robotics and creative coding. Yes. Mr. Maxwell, come on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me here. At least I'm seated in the seat that the MP was seated at.
The MP was sitting here.
Oh, same conversations.
Yes. Today we are hosted with an MP.
Yeah.
Asante sana bwana.
Thank you.
Thank you for... I'm sorry for keeping you that long.
Thank you. No worries.
Yes.
Pleasure.
And I hope they will have more. Yes, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe